Hello everyone, it's the Once and Future King. So before this video begins, I want you to let me know what your all-time favorite hentai series is. Don't worry, this is a judgment-free zone. I am making this video after all. If you've been an anime fan for as long as I have, then you've come across the type of anime known as hentai. If you're a single, perverted, horny male such as myself, then you've likely indulged in the pleasures of hentai on numerous occasions. If you're as lonely and disconnected from real people as I am, then you've probably jacked off to hentai even more often than real porn. Unfortunately, if you ask me why I enjoy hentai, that's like asking me what makes me horny. It's simply one of those things that nobody could ever adequately explain. Either you get it or you don't, and when you do, you don't understand why. However, similar to regular anime, as well as other passions of mine such as gaming, horror movies, and heavy metal music, I've recently become interested in what is the first hentai ever created. And I've seen hentai from before the 1990s and early 2000s, and the art styles are typically so dated and animation so bad that I can't even begin to get a hard on. But I still think it's a fascinating question. When did Japan start creating animated pornography? I imagine it didn't start becoming popular, at least in the West, until the late 2000s or early 2010s, but I know for a fact that it's existed for decades. The origin is what I'm looking for. So I did some digging online, and I came across a hentai called Cream Lemon, also known as Lemon Angel. It seemed like it could have been the first hentai ever, as it was released from October to December of 1987, nearly 34 years ago. Decades before anime had even cemented itself in the West as a monstrously popular medium, let alone hentai. Produced by Studio AIC, Cream Lemon is a franchise combining a real-life idol trio and limited animation short stories, with their cartoon alter egos thrown into various bizarre and generally sexual situations. There's 37 episodes, and each one episode lasts only about 3 minutes, so it was a very quick watch. And after watching it, my initial impressions were that it's alright, I suppose. If you want to watch this anime, you're going to have to be prepared for a few things. First of all, the dated animation art style of anime common in the 1980s. It definitely hasn't aged well. And it's honestly a big reason why I don't watch anime from that era often. I just prefer how anime looks in this day and age. However, it didn't bother me too much here, especially considering that while its 37 episodes are only 3 minutes apiece, and even if that wasn't the case, it looks surprisingly clean and crisp despite the era. Something else you should be aware of is that this series isn't actually a hentai. Yeah, you've been clickbaited. Because Cream Lemon, Lemon Angel, isn't a hentai like I originally thought it was going to be, at least in the truest sense of the term. If anything, it's maybe a softcore hentai, but it's nothing extreme. I'd still recommend that you avoid watching it with your parents. Make sure to do it in isolation but you should be able to watch it with the boys without any extreme complications. As far as ecchi anime are concerned, I'd like to say it's pretty par for the course, but honestly it's even worse than that. All the episodes are basically just softcore porn and softcore anime music videos. There's really no characters to speak of. There's voice acting, but it's the most basic shit ever. I don't know, it's hard to explain unless you actually watch it yourself, and normally with bad anime like this, I wouldn't recommend it unless it was so bad it's good, which this definitely isn't. In this case, for two reasons. One, because of the historical relevance of being one of the first hentai series ever made, if you want to call it that, and two, because despite how many episodes there are, the episodes themselves are only 3 minutes apiece. You won't be wasting too much of your time on this one, so definitely give it a shot. However, not to worry, you haven't been completely clickbaited, because I do have more to discuss. For there is another series of the same name, simply called Cream Lemon, that lasted for their 38 episodes, ran from 1984 to 1993, and the episodes are actually full length. The sad part is, I haven't been able to find anywhere to stream or download it. I couldn't even find screenshots from the episodes. All I could find was the poster for the hentai, basically. All I know about this poster is this poster and a plot synopsis. The original Cream Lemon is a collection of short stories, ranging from soap opera, the Amy series, to fantasy, the Rawl series, to horror, known as Cream Lemon Dark, to parody, Pop Chaster. It does deal with a lot of heavy perversions ranging from S&M, male rape by a bunch of females, bondage, torture, yuri, and incest. However, thankfully this is not the first hentai either. There's one that came out the same year except in February. Cream Lemon started in October, and it's called Lolita Anime. And it's one that I can actually watch. This is without a doubt the first ever full-length hentai that I'm actually able to watch, and I'm excited to give it a shot and to talk about it. Sadly, I wasn't able to find any of it sub, only raw, so it's more difficult to make out its story, but thankfully you don't watch hentai for the story anyways. You watch it to get a good jerk-off session. This one is actually a full hentai, and it contains many of the sexual tropes that became common in hentai later on. Rape, lolly, obviously given the title, monsters, mind break, old men, ugly bastards, gangbang, bondage, BDSM, torture, exhibitionism, you name a tag, this show probably has it for the most part. However, as far as the quality of the hentai, unfortunately it's not very good. That can't be surprising, it's almost 4 decades old, but if you went into it looking to get a little something out of it, then you'll probably be disappointed. At this point, the only reason to watch it is for the historical value. I actually watched all of the episodes at triple speed because I just thought it was so damn boring. I'm kind of shocked it managed to get 6 whole episodes, not because of the substandard quality, as that's just comparing it to modern day hentai, which is never a good idea, but because of when it came out. And from what I understand, it was decently popular at the time as well. The animation is also better than I expected, honestly. Honestly, the animation is probably better than a lot of modern day hentai studios like Milky Animation or Queen Bee. It's also one of those that borders on softcore hentai because there is a limit on what you can see. You almost never see the cocks of the guys, but you do occasionally see the women's vaginas, and you always see their boobs. So I guess it's enough to call it a full-fledged hentai. In case you're curious, I don't consider something like Redo of a Healer to be a full-fledged hentai because there's a limit on what you actually see. So in general, Redo of a Healer is actually pretty soft core. I put interspecies reviewers in the same category, by the way. Lolita Anime is definitely a hentai, but it's extremely tame. It's not vanilla because there's a lot of less than wholesome, let's just say, elements to it in it to prevent it from being considered that, such as rape, monsters, mind break, ugly bastard, gangbang, among other things. But compared to some of the screwed up shit I've seen during my life as a professional degenerate, it's almost kind of humorous how much this series clearly tried to shock but failed miserably. Although I'm sure that at the time in 1984 it shocked people quite a bit. This is just the perspective of a professional degenerate in the year 2021 who is 27 years old, who's seen more than 1,000 hentai series. This perspective is crucially important here. And you might think that that's where this video ends, but surprisingly enough, Lolita Anime is still technically not the first hentai ever made. I wanted to talk about it because it's the earliest that people probably remember. And also because if I didn't, this video would be like 2 minutes long, if that. But yes, there is one that came out all the way back in 1932, 52 years prior to Lolita Anime. And it's known as Suzumibune. This was a 1-episode, 10-minute black and white short that came out almost 9 decades ago. And unfortunately, I couldn't watch it because it's lost. So yeah, understand now why I had to talk about 2 other hentai in this video. There is some information though. Like I said before, it was black and white, it was released in 1932, it was 10 minutes long, it was animated using what's known as the ukiyo-e type of animation style, which I know nothing about. And there's also a plot synopsis. Suzumibune, which was directed by Hakusan Kimura, is set in the Edo period with 2 foolish women at the start of Kanada River's Kawabiraki, a festival marking the start of the boating season. A woman looking to be the daughter of a large shop gets lured over by a seemingly good-looking man that appears to be that appears and gives into pleasure. However, on the verge of the act, she is spotted by a boatman and falls into the river. The other woman, who looks like a mother, beckons the boatman to have the daughter make love again as she peeps. Suzumibune was planned to be the first part in an erotic two-reeler, but was seized by the police before it was completed. It was consequently never released. At some point in the early 2000s, the Tokyo police donated remnants of the film to the National Film Center, which means its lost status is kind of dubious, but at the very least I couldn't find anywhere online to watch it, which is why I'm not able to talk much about it as I was hoping for. As you can tell from the plot synopsis, the story was very basic. And if you were able to watch it now, I think you'd have a major blue balls, and be extremely hard up for a fat. But this is still fascinating for the historical value of hentai, and it's that very reason that I'm also sad that I can't watch it right now. I'm even surprised that there's a page for it on my anime list, considering that you literally can't watch it anymore. I haven't even been able to find any information on if it's a silent film or if it had sound. And that does it for me. In the comment section down below, let me know what your thoughts on this video and all the hentai series I mentioned are, and if you found it as interesting as I did when I was doing the research for this video. Also, I'm new to this whole research video thing, so if you think I made any mistakes with my research, please let me know as well, because I do want to improve these types of videos. And as well as if you have any advice for when I decide to do future research type videos. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button, share it around so it gets more attention, subscribe to my channel for more content in the future, and hit the notification bell. If you want to know when I post a new video, I upload every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Also, let me know in the comments what your favorite hentai is. Don't worry, like I said before, this is a judgment-free zone. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.